Jiminy Crickety Crackets Red Stop Racket. How you doing? Kenji's World. Here we are. Apologies, my camera's a little bit wacky. That's just the way it is. Welcome back. And how you doing? Ladies and gentlemen? It's an absolute pleasure to be back. I know there's been days missing. Oh, the grind is on, man. Not the grind, but the pump is on. It's back. The energy that's challenging every bone of my body right now to really test who I am deep down underneath the surface. What kind of man is Kenji really? Is he really going to be what he says he's going to be and continuously speaks of? Well, will he truly back himself? Or will he fall? Will he falter? You know, will the games of the world get the better of him inside of his brain, inside of his mind? What's going to happen? You know, I kind of see this like little middle center split happening with my hair. It's like one side is white and one side is kind of black. It's kind of sweet. Got the half and half, yin and yang going on top of my brain. Just fucking churning my brain cells and turning them into white hairs. Motherfucker. Sucking my lifeblood, the old brain. Welcome to Kenji's World. But in Kenji's World, being challenged, man, being tested for sure, and I've got a lot of great ideas. How good can I execute on them? How willing am I to commit truly to this great dream that I'm painting in myself right now and outside into the world, through my soul, through my spirit, and into the landscape of life? How well I truly paint it and be able to bring it into fruition through my actions, through my conduct, through the usage of technology, through the usage of, the understanding of natural law, materials, things, people, ideas, the logos, the word. How do we bring it all into action, and how do we keep wholesomeness in it all? I think it all just comes back to making sure you are coming from the right place, trust in yourself, know that it's the right place, and after that, just wave your hands in the sky. Hi waves, hi how are ya? And stop being apologetic, because if you ain't going to be a monk life, and even if you're monk life, you need to not be apologetic for who you are in your existence. I think it's this challenge of money right now, business and money, and just being non-apologetic at all for who you are, what you stand for, how you stand for, and then if you are aligned, then that's the reflection of who you are, what you are. So, but in the business world, if we're going there, you got to ask for money. You got to get that money. And right now, with the nature of inflation, and what we used to make, I was talking about how the board game Cash Flow that was created by Robert Kiyosaki, I played it, and you get job cards. The job cards explain how much money your character, your avatar is going to make, how much your mortgage repayments would be if you were to have a child, how much that is, how much you can borrow from the bank, what's the interest, and it's like Monopoly, but with a little bit more real scorecards. If you go bankrupt, you lose the game. And I think for a secretary it's like 60 grand or something. Still pretty accurate. For a doctor, $130,000. Look, a lower end, or just a beginning doctor with the minimum qualifications, not a specialist, 130 grand kind of sounds about right. Yet the deal cards are, you can buy stock options, you can buy a home. If you have enough money, you can buy an apartment complex. So I didn't go through all the deal cards, but there are deals that you can make, right? And in the middle is a rat race, and outside, I forget what the thing's called, but you can step into a larger scope of business, life, etc. deals. And so I looked at the deal cards. 2-bedroom, 1 apartment, $40,000. I'm here in Australia, Gold Coast, Australia. $40,000. You're buying almost just a shed for $40,000. All these deal cards, in terms of like real estate and what's happening, if I was to add a zero to them, then it would feel like an apt, relationship, or where we are economically. In terms of property, and property is an indicator of a certain level of what is happening with commodity markets. I'm not saying that's true. I'm not a financial man. Do not ever listen to Kenji and quote him ever about financial stuff. I'm just talking shit out of my ass in my mind. But it's like fuel. Fuel is an indicator of something. The housing market is an indicator of something. Inflation, percentage rates is an indicator of something. I guess relationship of what bought what back in the day is a relationship. So, how much money bought a loaf of bread, how much income was relative, yada, yada, yada. But have we plateaued? Have we stopped moving for a while? And has the cost of living continued to increase as, wages have increased? But to me, that problem in the political eye is solved by increasing minimum wage. Increasing minimum wage is the way to do it. Blah, 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 blah. Fuck minimum wage. It's like, that's a long conversation about minimum wage and where that can stand for with me. It's kind of like, maybe for like huge corporations that hit a certain, profit, etc., need to make sure they meet certain requirements here. But it also, by having minimum wage, kind of fucks a small to middle class business sometimes, because, why can't you employ somebody? And of course, it's like, the nature of, so people are going to exploit people, people are going to do this, we're going to fuck people over. I'm tired of these, people that fuck people over, right? The people that are working in politics, telling me that the people are going to fuck people over if they would just have free reign or be able to make executive decisions in their life. No, the people can't be trusted. Put laws in place. People are going to fuck people over, right? Yeah, it's just coming from bureaucrats that are just fucking people over time and time again, even though they're saying all the right things. Kenji's World rant right there. But it's like thinking that these people are like, increase minimum wage. Awesome, dude. Increasing minimum wage. So how's that going to be catered for in the business? Oh, wages are now higher that we have to legally pay. Or we're going to be fucked over by these people that fuck people over. We're going to be, so now what do? Well, we have to increase the price of our goods and services, right? That's just naturally have to do. We have to increase this, increase for this, increase for that. Oh, fucking inflation. So for me, where my mindset is that I need to start moving myself into making more money. Right? The machine, the machine of government, the machine of enterprise it's just doing what it is doing. And you can't stop the machine. I can talk bitch, whinge and moan about the machine, but I'm not fucking stopping that crazy ass machine. There's a monster out there, truly a monster, a Goliath that needs to be slain. Or tamed or understood first and foremost, and will know how to create a civilization that a Goliath cannot take down. Yeah, civilization of Davids. Not an ancestral David. The metaphor of Davids. I'm sure you got that. So yeah, how can I capitalize, or how can I, and as a spiritual person, I'm sure many spiritual people come across this thing of money, I shouldn't get money is evil or tied to this. And even though logically I'm like, no, like money is energy, money is transfer of energy, to start thinking you're making a lot of money, it's kind of a scary thought of what that does to somebody. I think there's many stories out there, and in the end I'm like, look, I'm just gonna have to test out hypotheses. Realistically, I'm just gonna have to get a lot of money, not take a lot of money, but get it through doing good things, maximizing on my skills, leverage what I have, make the most amount of money without sacrificing quality of life. I know it's a hard balance, but you can do it if you're smart. And how you work with people, how you leverage. There's so much money out there right now that you just need to know how to tap into it, how to find the funnel. I'm still figuring it out myself, but it's getting there. I just need to be in the testing ground. I need to really be getting out there and working it. Unfortunately, that's the only way that I can do best, because right now I'm sitting behind a computer. There's a digital testing ground here, and maybe that's why I need to focus more on that, because my business partner is making sales in his own right, in his own spheres, and I guess I'm stuck here not trying to figure out how I can make sales. And I know I need to get out there, but there has to be a way we're going to make sales here as well. And that's, for me, we need to start launching so much stuff that I need to be able to move forward to get these sales assets up and running, so that we can start reaching out to an audience, because it just needs to happen. I need to make decisions as a general manager of this company. I need to also make decisions of what's going to be best, of how we do it, how we action time, effort, and energy, and how we start to create those things. And look, I can tell that I may have deviated from that path, but thank you for Kenji's World. That's what Kenji's World is here for. Kenji need to rant, get shit out of his brain, because if he doesn't, then my golly gosh, he's going to lose his mind, he's going to be off track, and he's not going to be doing the thing that's most appropriate. It's going to move the needle. Nude the needle? We're going to nude this needle? That's going to move this needle the most, and it's going to get us to the riches And to me, as above, so below. If I trust as above, so below, when I get to riches, it will be spiritual riches as well. I believe it. I believe it. Some people say, no, you've lost the path. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to have to go that way and figure it out for myself. If I lose my way, I'm going to have to countermeasure, step myself away from it. But I believe that I won't lose my way. I'm going to have to do a lot of things to make sure that I maintain integrity along the path. But I think it's fine. It's, once again, look at it. You can almost hear doubt in my voice. Who wants to hear this fucking doubt in their voice? No, I have integrity. I just falter sometimes. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I'm trying to live up to a certain standard. I'm not always doing it, but I've got a standard. I've got integrity. I have values. I have morals. I care. I give a shit. And now it's just the point where you're just going to have trust and start getting out there and start asking money for your services. You know, good money. Know your value. Know your value. Know what you're worth. Don't undersell yourself. And what is it? Your ultimate price, or the price you should ask, is where you feel a little bit, ooh, like you're pushing it, and then +1. Because that's probably where your value lies, that you're just still not comfortable asking. So I'm glad that, you know, some of this has come in conversation with my business partners, and I can see where I need to push the needle more. We've got some team members potentially coming in, but it really needs to be strong. It needs to be clean. And I need to have a clean agenda of how I'll be able to utilize and capitalize on the skill sets that these people have in their genius zones, and be able to leverage them so we can create even a greater product, all this sort of stuff. So that's tying into all these things. Sales assets, but also the overcoming of so many personal obstacles that you have to do to go into business and to become a good business person. This is why I want business to become this structure that is how I hone myself, how I cultivate myself, how I work harder, how I can apply myself. It's not just business. I have art as well. There's art in business. This is part of my art of self-expression. Art is there in self-expression in whatever form. But I feel through this self-expression, I need to be able to utilize it. And when I utilize it, oh man, I keep thinking because I'm looking in my reflection that's falling off the wrong way. Utilize my skill set to the best ability to be able to bring value to this world, to this planet, to humanity, to this species at this point in time in life, and how that's going to happen. Because I need to ask for that money, but I better make sure that I'm, in terms of an entrepreneur, I'm really capitalizing on my skill set, my best interests, where I am going to thrive as a human being, where my soul is, and tie that with a solution that I can offer, and ask for money. Just got to ask for money. It just has to be the way. It's a mantra I'm going to say. I got to ask for money. Money is the way, but what do we offer in exchange of that? But I'm there to ask for money. Because that money is this resource. Money is this resource, and I'm talking about a lot. And I don't talk about money like this, but I have to. I have to get over it. I have to go get it. I have to go get that money. That's just the way it is. I have to go get that money. And that feels like such a strange thing, where I've been an employee for so long, and I've received money. I rock up and I receive money. I rock up and I receive money. Now I have to go get that money. You gotta go get it, hunt it down, find out where it is, what's going on, what's happening, and fucking tie it to us, and bring that funnel of energy resources so that I can feed my family, and I can look after my peoples, and I can pay people, and people get paid through our business, and we can then leverage, and we've got great people, and just having faith, like trust and faith that not only myself but the people in my team are great people. And you know, a lot of things where I still need good re-education of where and how to spend my money, so that we're increasing the economies that we feel aligned with. And if I have more money, then not only do I have the power to say yes, I have the power to say no. And with that no is going to be, for me, like food, knowing that I could just spend money on whatever food that I want. And that's high quality, you know, good quality meat from people that I would like to support. Because a lot of the times, maybe those small businesses are a little bit more exy. Not all the time. You can get quarter cows for pretty cheap. You can get that done. But maybe that's where, you know, I could love to spend my money. But for that, I need a freezer. I need the freezer up running. I need power. I need to sort some stuff out. I need money. I need resources. I need time to sort that out. And so that time or that money is going to help me facilitate a life. And if I have faith and we continue to educate the people that we work with, and we share our knowledge on how we can better our lives, then we can change how we also spend our money, where we spend our money, who we want to spend our money with, how we want to spend that money. And that's going to really affect how the small middle class enterprise is facilitating culture and change in this world. And to me, and this is the conspiracy, is that the institutions, the theys we talk about, not the trans theys, but the theys out there that's running the conspiracy, they, I believe, hypotheses, but I truly believe, they despise or they are threatened by the middle class. And because they are threatened by the middle class, because we are able to subvert the paradigm that currently exists, which seems to be a monopoly, a top-down, 1% only holding power and wealth structure that is trying to hold power over the people. And the people in the middle class have got good hearts. Not always, fucking everyone's a C-bomb sometimes, but I'd say a majority of people have simple goals, simple hearts, and that's why we got to move into more power. Move into a powerful place. And it's scary because that power, what's the relationship you have with power? Are you afraid of power? What happens when you step into it? You're going to lose yourself. You're going to become a tyrant. Yeah, you got to have people around you to keep you in check. But once you step into that power, then you can facilitate a culture that's based on your values, not just the values of somebody else or a government's values or a institution that's been there for ages. I don't care about their values. Their values, the more I look at the world that they've created, is not a value structure that I'm living under right now. They're not creating value that I want to live with. The law and order that I see in this country is not the law and order that I want to live underneath. I don't like it. I hate it. Not all of it, but there's a lot of it that I don't like. It feels very oppressive. The nature of who is in government, who is in power, and government is not the only power, but is in power positions. I just believe they're out for themselves, and I can feel it, and I'm only saying because I can feel it, and I felt it, where what's happened recently and what's been happening for decades, for centuries on this planet, thousands of years, of a certain oppression has been occurring. And this oppression, to me, is tied to a spiritual oppression, but the spiritual oppression now, the battlefield is in commerce. The battlefield is in who is able to regulate or is able to be a custodian and hold the energy for humanity, for planet Earth. Who's going to be in charge of that? Like, there is, let's say Earth is a large colossal electromagnetic ball, right, full of electromagnetic energy, and humans, I would believe, and I don't have the science for it, but are these massive conductors to be able to change, regulate, and amplify that harmonic resonance, that magnetic field on Earth. But right now, the education is misplaced of who we are, how we are, but also, if you're missing that unseen piece, then you don't know what these theys are trying to control, the people in power. But if you know that this is the core element, that spirit or a connection to divine is the key element that they wish to sever, and if they wish to sever this, then they will sever the ultimate connection that you have to truth, to understanding, to knowledge, to knowing. And if they do that, or are they able to create situations, create circumstances, create environments where you are slowly and has been degrading this connection with it, and you just start turning it into a woo-woo idea, it's nothing tangible, and if that happens, boom. To me, that's what happened with the world, and we are lost away from people's purpose here on Earth. Because you don't know where it is, because you don't know where you came from, or you don't know what the essence of things are, if you're not tapped into that thing. If you're tapped into it, you just know. There's a knowing. I just know. When I meet people like that, they just know. They seem to know something. And these people seem to know that this is a principle that reflects everywhere. And this is why I feel this knowing, and people find a belonging, a being and a belonging being becoming, bringing in some EYLF language into this place. But it's great. Belonging, a being and a belonging that comes when you tap into that source. It's not just an energy or an intellectual concept. It's a true, real place, I feel. More and more that I live it. It's a real, tangible place with tangible understanding and tangible laws that govern it, principles that govern it. And so, long story short, this has been, and then you have to overcome so many things. You have to step up into your power, step up into who you really are here to be. That I feel, once again, hypotheses, but I feel that there is a calling, an energy calling me to step into something, to step into who I am truly meant to be here on planet Earth as a person. And that's only coming from a pain that I feel in life. Realistically, I feel pain when I am not that person, when for some reason I haven't delivered on 110% of me in terms of a character or a quality, or I haven't stepped into a position enough, or I haven't followed through enough because of certain insecurities, worries, concerns. And they're up to me to solve and navigate. But the more that I do navigate these issues that are arising for me, it's there are these thresholds and these paradigms that I have to continue to push through, that I have to move through. And the more that I move through them, the more that I truly believe it's this massive spiritual, but spirit is tied to this physiology. Spirit and matter to me are all connected. It's a spectrum of a whole idea and a being of things. But if you continue to push through these paradigms, push through this threshold, I believe a physical threshold, you truly change as a person, who you are, what you are. And you need vehicles and avenues and structures to follow to go through that. And so I'll break it down next time because we're at quite a long point. But what those structures are, how you can structure them. And as an example, I'll just put examples for now, but the alchemists back in the day had the physical process of alchemical transmutation that happened. And they went through a physical process of transmuting metals into base metals, purification, all this sort of stuff, fermentation. And through that process, they found out there was a process to refining the human soul. So there was an as above, so below relationship. And through this relationship, oh crap, I can actually alchemically transmutate myself, because they were seeing the reflection in the principle, in the process, And through that process, they understood, oh shit, that's applicable to me. Oh shit. Because once that bridge starts being the gap starts being bridged, they're like, oh shit, there's things from within here, things that happen within me that makes me understand, or I can start to see causation and correlation here in the material plane as well, because I can start to see it. And once you start to see correlation, causation and correlation from spiritual, or from, I say internal to external, but only because because there's a divide, and once that divide minimizes and reduces and it's gone, then the correlation increases. It becomes quicker and quicker. You start to see it so much more. And when you start to see it so much more, then it just makes sense to you that's the place you want to be operating from the most, because you'll start to figure out that things come in that impede you from being in that flow. Things, just personal things that are your nuances, your little ticks and things that come up that you need to overcome as a person. And I feel the more we do that, the more we harmonize, the more we optimize, the more we clarify, the more we're able to regulate, and the more we can start to connect with each other. And so I'm trying to say that, and the temple builders did it, right? So the masons did it. The building of the temple, from carving the stones to laying the stones to building the walls. And then I believe it was for you to become a person capable of entering that temple. Because before you even enter it, or before you even carve this part or build this part, you got to be this kind of person, or a person that can be able to do it. And I feel, how you lay that line, how you do it requires next level thinking. You're building on a foundation, but that foundation is built upon so the next step is building on that foundation of refining the line, really learning to adjust things, really clean, see things, see a vision, see a certain part of it, and how that builds into the overarching, or how these start to support certain pillars. Oh shit, these walls, and the learning that comes from building those walls, and how that is now brought into, holy shit, how this overarching structure is a metaphor for how I can hold myself, and how I can start to create larger structures, how I can create, and this is a solopreneur turning into an investor, like being able to put a roof over your head, being able to put a roof over multiple people's heads. What a beautiful metaphor for becoming an investor, or in terms of if I was used to business structure, right? So from solopreneur to investor. So solopreneur, sole trader, solopreneur to business owner to investor. Investor that recognizes he's able to be a big oak tree that can now help those around him be able to be a source of funding, because at the beginning you're looking for funding, but then be a source of funding, be a source of energy that people can tap into, not just funding, but of knowledge, of wisdom, of teams, ancillary services, growth mindsets, how to have a holistic and healthy community, how that all works out. And so yeah, that's where I see business can appropriately do that if the correct framework is applied, that this is what's going on, or this is a way that the learnings you are having is tied into. And look, it's hard because not everyone is ready to hear it or is willing to hear it, because there are a certain point in their business they don't want the hoo-ha. But I'm really looking to work with people that want to take this on board and really, subvert the dominant paradigm in business. I want that to be the dominant paradigm, that the business growth is all tied and everything is about growth of an individual, growth as a person, growth of a human being, a soul, a spirit, as a community as a whole. That's what it's about. Like, that's what business is about. It's all about building communities, sharing resources, learning to work with each other, learning to support each other, learning to listen to each other, understand each other, help facilitate things for each other, be a network for each other. That to me is what it's about. The money and finances, fiscal, is just how that all can happen. People say money is evil. I'm like, bullshit. Like, if you didn't have money, you didn't have anything, you'd be fucking talking to me, but you wouldn't have driven your car, the fuel, the bus, the clothes, the bitumen, whatever. And yes, I know, and back in the day, money was that resource, right? Money was energy resourced. And you took your resource and you brought it to someone and you were able to trade with that resource. And so, yeah, sorry, I just got lost at the train of thought. But that's still money. That's a commodity, right? Bartering, the fish, the cow. There was a time, energy spent, turned into a resource. And we've accepted a certain resource that is a thing that we are willing to trade for something else. And it's all agreements, right? That's why the whole Bitcoin thing, I'm so sad I don't have my ticker back yet. But Bitcoin and crypto, if that's all it is agreements. If you agree that that's going to hold value, that's where it's going to hold value. And for some effing reason, it works. It works. I can trade commodities. If I want to sell my Bitcoin right now, and if I want to get something tangible, I would most definitely be able to take that Bitcoin and turn it into a cup or a table in terms of trade. Someone would most definitely accept that. I don't know why they accept that. Through the course of humanity, for some reason, our mind, our logic and reasoning has got to a point that we can understand certain concepts so that we can accept that as a form of currency, a form of energy exchange that is valid to a point of referential value that we can agree on. It's an agreement. And that's all it is. So it's as simple as that. Money's going to change. The way we view money is going to change. How we accept, how we work, how we do business for money is going to change. Because once again, money is not we now know that money is not the end goal. To gain money is not the end goal. At the beginning it was money, but obviously the security that money created and added. But now money is buying so many things. I feel like so many billionaires are out there now, more than there was before, and the capacity for people to buy yachts, do this, it's like, yeah, great. And we can see it now, which is great. And I'm not saying that, yachts aren't great or whatever. I don't want a fucking yacht. But, I'm not saying if someone gave me a yacht, I'd be like, no yacht. But I'm just saying I wouldn't go out and buy one. I can see so many other things to do with my money. But once you become a billionaire, who knows what you want to spend your money on. But I'm saying that a lot of people out there are probably seeing that, okay, that's how far money can take you if you really want to spend on that kind of shit. But I'm sure there's so many people out there that are like, you know what, I'm fine. I actually don't need the yacht. I'm happy with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. That's how I want to live my life. But you still need money to do that. There's a value, unless you're going to go out there. But even, where are you going to get land from, right? Governments and all the bullshit. And they're going to be there, the bullshit. So we need to really keep an eye on fucking government and what they're going to do, how they legislate, regulate. And I say this as an Australian. Australia is just so shit for fucking so many rules, pardon my French, but so many rules, so many regulations. Less regulations, the better. My God, so much better for business, and the nation can thrive. Philanthropy can thrive when people have more money. I just need to put faith out there that people will do good things. And look, I know it's an optimistic idea because I know a lot of people have done terrible things. And yes, there's going to be consequences. So I'm not saying scrap the justice system. Geez, no way. The justice system probably needs to be improved, but with an improved understanding that, okay, what's the goal? What's the end goal? Is spiritual development, human development, species development, humanity development. Because right now, we're just acquiring technology, we're acquiring knowledge, we're acquiring information, and everyone's like, oh, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, I believe it's for a purpose. And if you understand that everything is for a purpose, we're doing all this for a purpose, that one day we're going to, an AI or whatever this is going to be, maybe this is the thing, that we're going to birth something into this world, some sort of technological revelation, and that is going to serve a function, it's going to serve a purpose. But we need to know, oh, is it going to have its own agenda? No. It needs to be like anything else. We need to be the stewards. We need to be the custodians. We need to make sure that thing is kept in check. But the only way that we can be the ones that do that is if we know what the hell we're trying to do here, and also for us to make sure we sort out our crap so that we're not coming from a place that's lacking integrity, that's lacking values, and morals. And I truly believe the power of the human being is going to come from its goodness gracious, the gracious heart. And a heart that's able to experience God's divine grace and have such superior wisdom to a machine. I'm not talking about knowledge and intellectual wisdom. I'm talking about heartfelt moral wisdom. Like, this is where the machine is going to lack far more than the human in my eye. To be tapped into the force of what it means to be loving and compassionate. Because if you go back in human history and, you could data collect all the things that happened out of compassion. And what people do with compassion and love, I believe so many things would be illogical or irrational things, potentially, that a machine would look at and be like, why? I wouldn't do that. But there's a reason. Love is blind. But also love is powerful, and love has such a capacity, and the human being has such a capacity to love. If we are catered for, we cater for the human being because we know that it's a vessel for love. It's a highly amplified electromagnetic, energetic, spiritual being here to pump frequency, oscillation, and every individual is going to have a crazily huge impact on the world. And so we need to really be letting these people know how powerful they are, how powerful their impact already is without going in and attaining power, how powerful the ripple effect is already. If you were just to know, if you could see the data, you don't even need to see the data, but the data is for the people that can't see. If you can't see, you need to look at data. But if you can see how powerful people are and how wonderful people are. And I'm putting every card and chip on that. And that's where I'm going. And that's where I want to take everybody. Or that's where I want to lead everybody if they want to be led somewhere. I'm not saying I'm here to lead everybody. I want to lead everyone to lead themselves, but that's where I'm going. I want everyone to go there because I believe everyone's dream can be catered for there. It's a dream that can encompass everybody's dream. Not if you're a rapist. I'm sorry. It doesn't encompass something there. There's ground rules to this place, to this dream, to this vision. But once you're tapped in, once you're in touch, you know what to do. You'll know what to do, and you can understand that my dream and my vision ain't that far from yours anyway. So, yeah, thanks for listening. I think I'm just going to smash out for now. That's it. Kenji's World. Rock on. Thanks so much for joining. Talk to you soon. Much love. As you know, one love, peace, one love, be love, good, do the good things so you have more love in your life, and you are being able to live